Okay, if you're ready to take your simple Pilates ab prep to another level, we're going to work using one of the mini stability balls and challenge Jillian a little bit more in her flexion range, but even more importantly in her return back to a more lengthened state. So if you look at the position we've got here, we've got the ball underneath Jillian's rib cage. So it's not in the low back, but it's also below the shoulder. So she's sort of in line with the bottom third of her shoulder blades in between, so it's right in the middle. And then if we're to work our way down here, she's in a neutral pelvic position, so she's definitely feeling weight toward the tail, little curve in her low back. But the start position in this one is in a bit of a curve. So eye gaze is toward the legs, head is supported so there's no neck strain, and you're in that nice deep upper body curve. So for Jillian to return back, to go into more of a lengthened state, even into a little bit of extension, we're going to do that by utilizing our weight and our connection to the ball. So Jillian, you can just take a breath in, and you need to just keep breathing in this one because we're going to move slowly. So the next time you exhale, I want you to think of just pressing the part of your spine touching the ball a little deeper into the ball. And now add another vertebrae. Press the next vertebrae into the ball. So the act of pressing as she's adding more and more contact points into the ball is lengthening the body, but it's keeping her abs engaged. So she's holding on to tone, but moving the origin and insertion of the abdominal muscles away from each other, taking herself toward a perfect alignment. You could even take it beyond neutral into a little bit of extension. So the chest begins to lift. The elbows can start to widen, but you want to make sure that the head and neck are still supported. Once you get into that end point, to return, let's also use the ball. So begin with a little nod in the chin, dropping your gaze. And now think about that first vertebrae, that highest one, lifting off the ball, but the vertebrae below sinks. Then lift the next vertebrae off and sink the one below deeper into the ball. And you continue breathing and peeling, trying to feel that detail, using pressure into the ball to get your flexion. And you should get to that point where you feel a little quiver. Once you get to that uppermost point in your range, stay, acknowledge it, reach the top of the head toward the ceiling, and start your descent again. Pressing one vertebrae into the ball, add another. Continue to breathe, press the next vertebrae, adding more and more weight, more contact into the ball, creating more length in the front of the body. So you have to allow for length, but just not lose the tone. So this stops you from collapsing and just dropping over the ball. You keep the strength, you keep the tone, but you're training the muscles to have length. So we're trying to exercise the abdominals through a full range of motion. Back up again, peeling one vertebrae off, melting the one below into the ball. Lift the next one off, melt the one below. Picture the breastbone softening. That will add more weight, more depth into the ball. Continue working your way up. Challenge yourself to see how far you can come up and away from the ball without disturbing your pelvis, without letting that low back collapse, maximizing that upper body flexion. Pause. Let's do it one more time. Press. So you could do this exercise anywhere from 3 to 6, 7 times. Really mindful, take your time, stay with it, stay in control through that full range, reaching and feeling the spine lengthen, reaching the head away from the tail, supporting the neck, and bring yourself up. That looks awesome. Start with a little nod and begin to peel, feeling the spine and its connection to the ball, lifting one vertebrae as you drop the next, sequentially working through the spine, feeling the crown of the head lifting toward the ceiling as the lowest ribs melt toward the floor. Excellent. And to safely come off the ball, you can pick one leg up, link your fingers around the leg, and use your leg to help bring you up. Great job.